Good morning. Welcome to my home, and thank you so much for being here for Asheville Community Yoga this morning. So yeah, we're going into, week 5 or 6 of this isolation, and so I hope everyone's doing well. I know we're a little maybe fed up could be a good word, but we have to stay with it. We have a responsibility to continue to do what we're doing to, again, try to see this virus move on, as we say, right? So thank you for being at home and, again, for tuning in. So please find a comfortable seat for yourself this morning, finding your blanket or your towel to sit on. You might want to have a block or two if you have that at home. If not, just find what you feel like can mimic a block if you need it. Okay? And we're going to start just with a nice grounding breath. So please get comfortable. Okay? So I'm going to give everybody just a moment to settle in and arrive. So let us know that you're here. And it's a way that when we're tuning in, for those of you looking at a screen and you see everybody chiming in, it's just a nice way to make a connection this morning. So let's let the backs of the hands rest on the inner knees. Pull the first finger and thumb together. Take a moment, take a nice full body breath in. And as you exhale, if you're comfortable with it, let your eyes close for a moment. Do any little just fidgeting or adjusting that you need to do so that you can really find a nice link through your spine, a nice grounding down through the pelvis. Just notice how you're coming onto your mat this morning. Feel gravity take a hold of the bones of the legs and the feet, up into the tail. Just this nice sense of heaviness that you feel through the pelvis all the way down to the legs. You can think of it as coming all the way up into the bottom part of the navel center. So imagine a horizon line right through the middle of the belly button. And from the bottom of that horizon line, root down. And then coming back up into the horizon line, above the horizon line, lift up. So you might even feel a sense of elongating through the abdominal wall, through the side bodies, and even into the back body. And from that grounding action, you just feel all the way up into the shoulders and let the shoulders soften and relax. Find a nice alignment for the skull. Finding length up into the atlas and the axis. Just a couple more breaths. The dogs will hopefully settle down. Maybe they won't. It's part of being at home. If I put them in a room, they're going to bark the whole time. We're all used to obstacles. It's just a matter of how we handle them. Take about 3 more breaths here. And coming back to that visualization of that horizon line at the navel center. Bottom of the horizon line, rooting down above above the horizon line, lifting up. Please exhale all of your breath out, mouth or nose. And then take the breath in, nice and slow. And notice for you where it feels like you start to struggle or strain. I want you to pause and stop right there. And then exhale the breath out. Again, inhale, and as soon as you feel it becomes fragmented or hard in any way, stop. Exhale. One more just like that, full breath in. Pause. And exhale out, mouth or nose. A few more just like that. Notice breath by breath as the body allows you to take in just a little bit more oxygen every time. So I'm not so much worried about the exhalation that can come out of the mouth or the nose, but have the focus more on the inhalation. It's very, very important for us to acknowledge and recognize the moment that we start to strain, because that's going to project into our asana practice. And it's not as though we're not maybe pushing through some edges safely, but it's a way that we create sustainability in our practice. And if we can't feed the body with the breath, the asanas themselves become less beneficial. We actually agitate the nervous system instead of soothing the nervous system. And one more breath, just like that. Really focusing on the inhalation, staying relaxed as best as you can so you really can take that oxygen deep into the body. And exhale out the mouth or the nose. And slowly pull the hands to the chest. Let the forehead bow into the hands. And just taking a moment here with putting our bodies in this mudra of prayer. So we remember as we move in this very sustainable way this morning, we're moving our bodies through these prayers, offering love and light to the world. And release the hands, lift the gaze. All right. So please come on to hands and knees. You might want a blanket up underneath the knees or your towel, whatever you have, so that there's a nice cushion there for you, okay? So take a moment here. Try not to come into cat-cow, right? Just take a moment. Try to see if you can spread the hands nice and wide, push down into the first fingers and thumbs. Start to create a really nice foundation through the hands. And then see that the knees they can be a little behind the hips or right up underneath your hips. Curl your toes under. And you're just going to rock back and forth, just very gently here. Just a way that we start to get into the wrist joints, into the toe joints, knee joints. You can inhale as you come forward, and then you can exhale as you pull your hips back. As you're moving in this way, I also want you to pay attention to where your head is, making sure sure the head's not dropped down here. Right, but pull the skull up. So as we're moving today and doing some of our side planks, I'm going to remind you to think of how your body is in Tadasana, and we'll explore that in just a moment. And then from here, rock your knees in just a little bit closer. Go ahead and extend your right leg back behind you. And I hope I'm not asking too much of you this morning, but I want you to come back to focusing on that horizon line at the navel center. So just like you did when you were seated, from the horizon line down, reach all the way through the right heel. And then above the horizon line, pull the heart forward, like you're trying to pull your heart through your arms. Draw the navel in, lift the heel a little higher. And then lift the heel even higher. Start to lift your chin and your head, and as you exhale, squeeze your knee in towards your chest. Inhaling, kicking the leg back, lift through the heel, forehead, exhale, pull in. 2 more times. Extend the right leg back again. And you're going to step your right foot over to the left side of your sticky mat or whatever you're practicing on. So notice how nothing changed in the left leg. Okay? And then from here, look back over your left shoulder towards your right foot. And see if you can get your right foot in one straight line. It's going to give you a nice stretch through the side of the waist on the right side. And then bring the leg back. And then you're going to step your right foot all the way over to the right. Like you're going to come into gate pose. And then walk your hands over to the right. Take your right hand, hold to the outside edge of the right leg wherever you can. You can keep your left arm straight or come down to the left forearm. And then pull your way in towards your right leg. Walk your way back to center. And then circles through the right thigh bone to warm up the hip joint. Going in both directions. Kick the right leg back again. Lift the chin, lift the heel. As you exhale, squeeze the knee into the chest one more time. Drop the right knee down. Left leg, lift it up. So chances are, if you're here this morning, you have practiced the pose of Tadasana, mountain pose. So see if you can find that in your body right now. You're reaching down and out through your left heel, left knee pointing down, navel in, and from the top of the horizon line, pull the chest through the arms and find length. Inhale, lift the heel, lift the chin, exhale 4 times, knee into the face or the chest. Maybe you're starting to come into a nice Ujjayi breath. Left leg kicks back, and then left leg steps over. So instead of letting the left heel drop, try Try to get the center of the left heel pointing straight up to the sky. Looking over your right shoulder. If this aggravates your back at all, just walk your left foot a little bit closer in towards the edge of your mat. Pull the leg back, and as you exhale, the left foot goes over out to the left, lining the left arch to the inseam of the right knee. Walk over to your left, take the left hand, hold to the left leg, and either staying here or dropping down to the right forearm and pulling your chest towards your left leg. Come back to center. Pull the left knee back in and take the circles. You can start in any direction. Do about 3 going in both directions. Just inviting some synovial fluid into the hip joint. Turning on some of the stabilizers. Inhale, kick the left leg back, lift the head, lift the chin. Exhale, squeeze the knee in towards the chest. Drop the left knee back down. Take the knees wide. Toes can come together. Hips drop back towards the heels for child's pose. Keep this active, please. Keep your arms reaching out of your waist. You can even come up onto the tips of the fingers and let the forehead drop down to your blanket, to your block, or whatever prop you might have. Anchor the tail down, feel the low belly activate. Really push whatever part of your hands are connected to the earth right now. Push down to activate the upper arms all the way up into the upper back. Coming back up, all fours. I'll show you from this view from here. So come to standing on the knees. Go ahead and take your right foot out to the right. Arms extend out. Right elbow finds the right thigh, left arm reaches overhead. Take the left hand behind the head, so you're holding right at the base of the skull. And encourage a lift through the neck. Almost like you're trying to pull your head off. Good. Scoop your right hip under, and as you inhale, open your left elbow up. And as you exhale, pull your left elbow in towards your right knee. Inhale, open up. Exhale, fold. 2 more times. So as you're doing this, to keep that sustainability, you're pushing down through your left knee, down through your right foot. As you inhale, left arm reaches back up overhead, and you might start to slide your right hand to the inside of your right foot here. And like I mentioned before, if all of a sudden your breath becomes very short, stay right here. And now try to pull your left arm as close as you can and towards your face, keeping the chest open, the belly open. And then come back to center. Bring the right knee down, left leg out or left foot out. Knee over ankle, extend arms out of chest. Left forearm to left thigh, right arm reaches up. And finding length from the outer right knee all the way up to the right wrist. Take the hand behind the head. Pull the neck very gently. And then open the right elbow up. exhale in. One more time. And as you open the elbow this time, reach the right arm up. Either staying here, find a little bit of a deeper opening in the right side. Left hand slides to the inseam of the left leg. Pull the right arm in towards the face. Keep the leg strong. Look up if you can. And come back up. Good. Come back to tabletop position. Make some circles now through your hips. And again, it doesn't matter which direction you go. Just go 3 times in each direction. And you're going to come back to standing on the knees again. And this time take your right foot out like so, like you did just a moment ago. So the left thigh bone is in one nice straight line. I like to have my right foot flat here instead of opening my leg up. Okay. This is just a way again that we start to get more into the hip stabilizers. Inhale, arms reach up. And as you exhale, right hand comes down the right leg. And then from the left knee all the way up to the left wrist, and then arc over to the right. Inhale, come up. Line your left hand up to the outside of your left knee. You can see the distance here, about 2 feet. Right hand to the right hip. Slowly open the shoulder, and then go ahead and lift your right leg to hip height if you can. Pushing down to the left hand. And again, you're finding that long line like you would in Tadasana. So my right hip's starting to burn a little. Right, so I'm turning on all these outer hip muscles that are so key for stabilization. And come back up. Right foot hits the ground. Reach left arm up again. And release. Putting the right knee down. Take the left foot out. Good. Inhale, arms up. Left hand down, left leg. And lean to the left. As you lean, notice if you're leaning a little forward or leaning a little too far back. Finding the plumb line. And squeezing the right arm in towards the face. Coming back up, right hand finds alignment to the outside of the right knee. Left hand to the left hip. Just take a moment here. Find length through the spine. Open the chest. Open the belly. But keep the hips square. Left leg lifts to hip height. Reach through the heel. And breathe. I didn't say it on the first side, but you don't want to turn your toes up to the sky. So keep your toes forward. That's what's really going to activate the muscles of the outer hip. And I definitely feel different sensation in this hip than I did on my right hip. So it's very common. And then if you want to reach your left arm up, you can. And then push off the right hand, the right knee, left foot hits the floor, left hand to left leg. Reach right arm up again. Good. And release. Come back to tabletop. Good. You're going to slide the right knee to the right wrist. Good. Coming into a variation of pigeon. We're not going to drop down. We're not going to drop the chest down. We're going to keep this very active. So if you have blocks, if you need them, or you can have them underneath your hands here. So I'll show you for hips and knees. If your hips are a little bit more open, your shin bone will not parallel the front edge of your mat, but you can get your heel a little further away from the pubic bone. If your hips are a little tighter and the knees don't like to do that position, you can pull your heel closer into your pubic bone. Good. Now, lift your back knee, please, by curling your back toes under. Feel the inner left knee and the inner left thigh rotate more towards the sky, so you feel like the front of your left hip wraps forward. Push the right outer shin and the right outer knee down, and there's a lifting action that you'll feel in the pelvic floor through the spine. You can stay right here or bring hands to hips. You gotta squeeze your left booty. And release hands. Slide the right knee back. I have purposely not done a downward facing dog yet. So, slide your left knee forward. Might want to take a look at the back leg, make sure it's in one nice straight line. So hopefully those of you at home doing this variation where we're not just sort of feel like we're dumping into the hips, this pose is a little bit more manageable for you. Okay, so you're very active here. Curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, right inner thigh, inner knee, lift to sky. Squeeze to the right glute. Push down to the left leg, and then maybe the hands come to the hips. If not, just keep your hands down on the ground. Release. Slide your left knee back to meet your right knee. 3 hip circles each direction. Please come down onto your belly. And this blanket is perfectly placed right underneath my hips and my pubic bone. So have a little cushion there. Hands by your shoulders. And then from here, walk your legs together, please. Keep the chest lifted. And again, notice my head's not here. So I'm lifting through the upper palate to lift my head. Point the toes, lift the legs. And then open and close. Open and close. And if you can, I want you to again try to resist toes pointing out. So not a lot of external rotation here. Think more internal rotation as you open and close. When the legs come back to center, drop the legs, walk the hands in front of you. Take a full breath in and a complete exhale out as you let your forehead drop to your forearms. Inhale, come back up. Take the arms out to the sides now. And then as you inhale, lift your arms, lift your legs, your chest, and your head. From that horizon line, energetically feel reaching through the heels, reaching through the heart. Hopefully this will give you an idea too of how to keep length in the low back. One more breath, maybe lifting a little bit higher. And hands come under shoulders. Push up for a cobra. Come back to hands and knees. You might want to move your blanket out of the way or towel if you have it. And then we're downward facing dog. So lifting up. Bend the knees if needed. So the sustainability of this pose comes with how we find that nice energetic balance of effort and ease. So feel the muscles hug to the bones. Find softening through the jaw and the neck. And then you're going to walk your right hand a little bit more forward and come up onto the tips of the fingers. And then pull the hips over to the left, but keeping the hips high, high, high. So you feel a nice stretch through the side body. And come back to center and drop the right hand. Lift the left hand or the left palm. And then rock the hips to the right. Keeping the hips lifted high. Back to center. Shake the head a little. And then start to walk your way towards the top of your mat. If your low back and your hamstrings are telling you to bend your knees, then bend your knees. If you're not a hyperextender and you have long hamstrings, long calf muscles, no issues in the low back, straighten your legs. Fold in. One more breath here. And then from here, start to drop your hips down. Imagine you have a block between the inner thighs. Give it a good squeeze. Reach your arms up for Utkatasana. Push to the feet, reach to the sky, arc back. Exhale and fold. Inhale, stretch your spine. Step your way back to high plank. From high plank, drop your right forearm down to the ground. You'll be leaning to the right just a little. And then slide, or not slide, but drop the outer right foot, the inner left foot, coming into side forearm plank. Left hand down. Push into the left hand, straighten the right arm. Drop to the left elbow. And then heels sway to the left. Strong legs. Right arm reaches up. Right hand down. Push into the right hand. Come back up, plank. Lower down. Point toes. Rise up into cobra. Exhale, pull hips back, either child's or downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. And as you did in the beginning, you can exhale mouth or nose. Just getting to every part of the body this morning. Focusing a little bit more on this deep, radiant strength. The strength that is rooted in resilience and courage, and patience and tolerance. Look forward, getting to the top of the mat however you like. Take an inhalation, stretch through the spine, and fold in. Push to the feet, reach to the sky. Exhale, bow. Inhale, stretch spine. Right leg steps back. Forearm to thigh, right hand to right hip. From your base, from your feet, from your legs. Feel the pose build itself. So from the foundation up. The foundation of a house, right? It's helpful if all four corners are even. Right? Left hip scoops under. Belly and chest open. Right arm reaches the sky. Side angle. Bring the right hand down. Slide your left foot over to the left a little bit. Drop your right knee to the floor. Keep the back toes curled under. Inhale, reach arms up to sky. And as you exhale, pull the hands down. Right when they get in front of the face, you're going to let your chin drop. Rounding. And then inhale, reach back up. Exhale, pull down. One more time. Reach up this time, open the arms. Take the right hand down. Left arm reaches the sky. So you can stay right here or start to lift your back knee. Left hand down. Right foot forward. Long spine. And then left leg back. Left heel down. Right forearm to thigh. Left hand to left hip. Same thing. Feel that nice grounding action, that spreading action of the feet. Lifting energetically into the pelvic floor, all the way out through the spine. Left arm overhead. Right hip scooping under. Looking down, both hands down. Right foot slides to the right a little, left knee comes down, back toes stay curled under. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Inhale. This is how to remember that this movement, this time, this sacred time that we spend on our mats, reminding us that we offer our prayers through our movement, through our body, through our expression. One more time, up. Open the arms. Left hand down. Right arm up. Lunge twist. Knee down or knee lifted. Squeezing into the midline. Right hand down. This time let's step back to down dog. Can also be child's pose. Remember, that's an open invitation for you anytime you need it. Don't wait for me to invite it. Come forward to the plank. Lower down, either knees or all the way down. One line. Rise up. And child's pose. Seek for that nice smooth rhythm with your breath. And just noticing how your body, your mind is being receptive to the movement. A little bit slower today, but with strength as the focus. but not just strength in the physical form, but strength that can move into the emotional body. Inhale, please come back up all fours. Bring the knees together, bring the toes together, and then walk your hands back towards your knees. Come up into Malasana. So you see my heels don't come to the ground, but I'm going to open my knees up and come into Bakasana. So of course, it's optional, depending on how your wrists feel this morning. Okay, but it's important that your hands go wide. If your hands are close together, it's never going to happen. Okay, so you can just play into a squat and just enjoy right here. Right, or you start to just, maybe you put your blanket in front of you. Sometimes that can be comforting, right? Knowing that we have a soft cushion in front of us. Okay, and then the knees squeeze into the upper arms. Belly pulls to spine, and then we start to bring our weight more forward. The gaze goes forward, and then maybe you just lift one heel today, both heels today. Drop the feet back down, come back into Malasana. You can even walk the hands forward, drop the chin. If your ankles and knees don't like this, just sit it out for a minute. Find a nice rhythm with your breath if this doesn't work for your body. One more time. Coming back, placing the hands just as they would be in down dog. Inner knees squeeze into upper arms. And the elbows bend like you're coming into a chaturanga. Look forward. Remember, your tailbone is your anchor. So the tail has to keep moving to the earth, belly to spine. And feet come back down. Walk the hands forward. And then come back to hands and knees. Back up into downward facing dog. Take a full body breath in and a nice sigh out. Please lift right leg up to sky. Bring that visual again to that horizon line going through the navel center. Reach the left hip, reach the right hip. Find length in the sides of the body. And as you exhale, squeeze your knee in towards your chest. Take it over to the right elbow. Take it to the left elbow. Take it to the right elbow. Take it to the left elbow. Kick it back. Squeeze it right down the midline and step your right foot forward. Spin the back heel. Please come up, Virabhadrasana 2. Again, build the pose from the foundation up, all the way up to the crown of the head. It's fine to drop your hips low. Bring the hands to the hips, turn the right toes forward, lift the chest to the sky, wrap the hands behind you, interlace your fingers as you lift your sternum. Exhale, find your forward fold. If you can't catch the fingers, take a strap, a dog leash, a shirt, whatever you have, and just hold it. Keep the shoulder heads lifted as you drop the head. Release the hands to the earth. Find length through the spine. Walk back over to your right foot. And then from here, we're going to come into half moon pose. So you'll walk your right hand forward about a foot diagonally from the pinky side of your foot. And then maybe you step your left foot in a couple times, or one big push off. So notice here, I don't even lift my left arm just yet. So I'm going to work again with my foundation. That's where the sustainability comes in. So if I have a block, place my hand to the block. Squeeze your right hip in to open your left hip up. Make sure your left leg is not behind the hip. Left hand can find the hip. Reach through both of your heels. Turn the belly, chest to the sky, and maybe the left arm reaches up overhead. And release the left hand. Bend the right knee, step the left foot back. Come back up. Warrior two. Straighten your right leg. And reach for Trikonasana. So of course, if you need a bend in your right knee, bend it. You can also drop your right hand to your right shin. Float your left arm up. Let the left arm pull you up. Both hands to the hips again. Turn your right toes forward again. Inhale, lift the sternum. Exhale, find a fold. This time you'll see if your peace fingers can hold to the big toes or the outside edges of your feet. Find length in the spine. And fold in. Lift back up halfway. Turn the right toes forward again. Step your way back, down dog. If you choose to take a vinyasa here or a flow, whatever you want to call it, you can come into your plank pose, lower down, rounding up, and hips pull back. Take 3 breaths here. Inhale, left leg lifts the sky. It's important when we lift the leg that we don't feel like the ribs and the low back collapse. So keep the ribs cinched in. As you exhale, pull the knee into the chest. Left elbow, right elbow. Left elbow, right elbow, back up into down dog. Come right down the midline, and left foot steps through, right heel down. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Find that nice vertical alignment through the spine. Hands to hips, left toes forward. Interlace the fingers again behind you, finding a little bit more space this time. Root through the heels, lift through the chest, and fold in. You might want to bend one knee and the other knee for this version. Release hands, lengthen spine. Turn the left toes forward again. Finding your block if you need it. You might have a piece of furniture, a chair or something close by, and maybe this is your half moon pose today. Right? Taking the hand down, floor block, take your time. Squeeze left hip in to open right hip up. Both heels reach. Maybe right arm extends overhead or to the sky. Bending the left knee very mindfully, carefully. Right foot steps back. Revisit warrior two for a moment. Straightening the left leg. Finding triangle pose. Gaze can be down, forward or up. Reach through your bones. Right hand to right hip. Bend the left knee. Both hands come down to the left foot this time. Spin the back heel. Step back down dog. Inhale forward to plank or skip it. Come to knees if you like. Keep skull lifted. Lower. Rise up. Hips pull back. Child's or down dog. Go to a place where you can tap in to the power of the breath. So if downward facing dog feels like it's too much work right now, then come into child's pose. From here, hands under shoulders. Push your way up. Find your blanket again or your towel so that your knees have a little cushion. You may not need it, that's fine. Toes are curled under behind you. Hands come to the hips or to the low back. The hands are here to encourage you to remember to keep length in the low back. The pelvis will come forward for Ustrasana, but you don't want to just push the pelvis so forward that you compress in your low back. So imagine now that your knees are like the heels of your feet. So push down. Squeeze that imaginary block in the inner thighs so there's a magnet pulling your inner thighs together. The tail anchors without, again, clenching the butt. Find length from that horizon line all the way up through the heart. So you can feel, again, right from the center of the navel, grounding down from above the navel, lifting up. Maybe the hands can find the heels behind you, or you just keep your hands on your low back. Head drops back if comfortable. Don't lose the action of the legs, pushing down the knees, squeezing into the inner thighs. Slowly coming up, let the heart guide, let the heart lead. Sit back on the heels, if the knees will allow it. If not, just stay standing on your knees. Wherever you are, take the left hand to the heart, right hand on top. Just feel the heart beating. Taking a moment just to be grateful for just that right now. Coming into one more, or you skip it. If you have a little bit more range of motion through the spine, you can point your toes. I just like to have my heels lifted. I feel like I get more opening through the upper back. Okay, so rooting down, lifting up, finding that balance of these two actions. And then see if you can let the other hand touch the heels first. So if you always tap back with your right hand, try to tap back with your left hand. Root down. Just what we'll call it this morning is your love light. So just feel your love light shine. Head drops back if you want. Let that love light pull you up. Either stay right here, left hand, right hand to heart. Sit back on the heels. feel. I love taking just a few moments in and out of the asanas so that I can really experience and integrate the quality of the pose, the benefit of the pose, my relationship to the pose. And then from here, we're going to find our way to a seat. So we're going to take your left leg out in front of you and cross your right foot over your left leg. Squeeze your right inner thigh in. And it's important that you feel both sit bones on the ground. And then we're going to turn to the right, but do it slowly where you literally feel like you're turning from your inner body. So little by little, breath by breath. Right hand comes behind the hip, maybe left elbow to right knee. I like to keep my knee wrapped by my forearm. It just keeps my neck and my shoulders softer. Do what feels good for you this morning. Outer right hip drops down. Again, seeking that nice, smooth, silky breath. And slowly come back to center. You might want to elevate your hips for this, especially if the hips are a little stubborn. Okay, so now you see I'm in the same position here. So we're going to lean over to the left and pull the left heel in towards the right hip. Now you may stop right here, or we're going to see about trying to get the right knee a little bit more on top of the left knee. So you see how I have to kind of move around a little bit here. I do a lot of hiking, so I don't have those really natural, just open hips. So I have to do a little bit more fidgeting to get comfortable. Well, I don't think comfortable is my word. To get, as Christian would say, deliciously uncomfortable. So make sure it's manageable for your body. Feel the hips settle, the hip creases settle. From the side body, the front body, the back body, that top of that horizon line, lift up. And then you might find that you want to fold forward here. Both knees pointing forward. You may find that you don't want to fold forward at all. Sitting right here is enough. It's like not putting more on your plate than what you can actually digest. Take 3 more breaths here. Feeling the play of these two energies. And this is what Hatha Yoga is. It's the harmonious relationship of opposing energies. The up, the down, the in, the out, the hot, the cold, the sun, the moon. Feminine, masculine, yin, the yang. Yin energy governs the lower body, while yang energy governs the upper body. Okay. And then you can lean back, uncross the legs, and second side. So if you want to slide off of your blanket for the twist, I don't like to be on a blanket for twists, but do what feels good for you. Right leg straight, left leg crosses over. I hope you can't see all. I'm covered in poison ivy right now covered. It's really hard for me not to just be scratching right now. All right, hips down, spine lengthens. Reach through the right heel. And again, very slowly from the inner body, start to turn and twist to the left. As soon as you feel your left hip lift, you know you're at your edge. Left hand finds the earth. All of this should be relaxed, right? The neck and the shoulders. And coming back to center. Finding your prop again to sit on. Lean over to the right, slide the right heel to the outer left hip. And you may stop right here, okay? Or you start to, again, just adjust. Make sure the blanket is really supporting you. Play with folding forward and you want to experience what that's like, by all means. If you feel your hips lift, right, like that, then you know that you don't need to fold forward too much, if at all. And take 3 more breaths here. Notice how your breath might have changed from the beginning of your practice. In whatever way that is, just noticing. Slowly walk the hands back up. Lean back, uncrossing at the legs. And then move the props out of the way. And then find your way onto your back, please. Feet to earth. So notice how there's a little lift in my shoulders here. So I want to pull my shoulder blade down and in, and then the same thing on the left side. Or in and down, I should say. But not too much. If we do too much, like crank the shoulder blade down, we're just going to stress out the upper neck. So just pull in, and then a very gentle down. Okay? You might want to grab the outer edges of your mat just so you can find your way in the middle. And as you push down into the feet, find that magnet again on the inner thighs. So the inner thighs pull towards each other as you lift your hips coming into bridge. If you want to interlace fingers underneath, you just have to slide your arms a little closer towards your spine. Push through the heels, the big toe, pinky toe. Lift the hips up into the belly, up into the ribs, into the sternum. Keeping the chin nice and neutral. Lower down, vertebra by vertebra. Take a pause here. So you may want your next one to be full wheel. We're bringing the hands by your ears. You can also turn the hands out a little bit. If the heels of your hands do not come down fairly easily, do not try to do a back bend. You're not ready. And it might just not happen. Your wrist might not want to go into that type of extension. And so just don't force it. Come right back into bridge. I'm not saying that you won't ever be able to go there, but just investigate what it is that stops you, right? What it is that starts to create pain. Lift a little higher. And release. Let the feet go as wide as your mat. Let your inner knees find each other. We'll sort of drop in towards one another. Nice way to release into the psoas, release into the low back. And then let the wings spread as you exhale. Drop your right knee, and drop your left knee. Just a little windshield wipers here. And the next time the knees are over to the left, see if you can slide your right hand down. You have to pick your right foot up to catch your heel. And then slide your right knee over to the right a little bit more as the heel slides into the hip. Now if this is aggravating your low back, draw your tail down and in and engage your abdominal wall more. I felt a call this morning to just move a little bit slower than normally, just because I feel like everything going on around us is just so rapid right now. There's so much information that we're being just bogged down with. And so having a practice that feels very manageable, again, tapping into that radiant strength. Back up to center. Let the right foot slide back to the middle. Take the knees over to the right. Slide the left hand down. See if you can catch your left ankle. You might even lift your head and look and see that your thigh bone is in one straight line. You can pull your heel as close as you can to the hip. Nice quad stretch here. If it goes to the low back, navel in, tail down. It really depends on our body type, how our joints are composed, if we have more stability or more flexibility, and of how we approach and even linger in these poses. Bring the knees back up to center. Walk the left foot down to meet the right. Pick the hips up just for a moment, drop them back down, squeeze the knees into the chest. Feel free to take baby pose here. It's also a perfect time to come into an inversion if you want to do an inversion before you drop into Shavasana. So if you have a shoulder stand practice or a headstand practice at home, if you want to find a wall for a handstand, or you can take your block and place your block or your neatly rolled blanket or towel underneath your hips and take the legs to the sky. I love ending almost all of my practices, unless I'm doing more of a restorative or yin and inversion. If we choose the right inversion, it can be settling for the nervous nervous system. And wherever you went, start to find your way coming down. The only props that you need now are the ones that can make you comfortable in your Shavasana. So maybe something under your knees. Like to place something that has a little bit of weight to it on the abdominal wall, even up into the heart. And if you don't have something around you to do that, it can even be as simple as just a block resting on the belly. If you don't have that, just use your hands. Take a full breath in. Find a pause. And stretch the exhale out. Feel all of your bones relax, the joints, muscles, the vital organs of the body, so that you can be very receptive to movements. Getting out of the doing brain and moving into the being brain. Notice the deeper you allow yourself to go into rest, the brighter, stronger, your light beams. Easier to cut Shavasana short. So please stay with it. Just a few more moments. Complete relaxation. Start to move comes natural. Just feeling all that fresh, new energy in the body, all that expansive space to allow that fresh energy to flow. Your next exhale, the knees will squeeze into the chest. Maybe just making a nice tight ball here. You can roll to your right side or rock right up to a seat. Nice and slow. Find a nice comfortable position to sit in. Backs of the hands on the inner knees, coming back to the Jnana Mudra that we visited in the beginning. A mudra that helps to inspire clarity and connection. And even though practicing this social distancing and being very respectful to each other's space in a way of just again not trying to spread this virus. As we sit here in this seat, just take a moment and feel this thread weaving its way through all. Namaste. Hope to see you soon.